Okay, I was about to say. Something was being a little. I just updated OBS, so it was being a little silly. I should be fine. Oh, I should turn off my. I should turn off my make the entire room sound like a. I'm in an oven machine. What am I watching? Archvenison versus Pluto. Is my computer being mad at me? Here I thought I had stuff set up so it wasn't like bad. Oh, did I reset my settings so they're gonna be like awful now? Probably. Whatever. Whatever. We're just gonna have to live with it today. Sucks. That should be fine. I'm gonna go grab stream in a sec from my phone, but for now we have anything crazy? No, just central opening from Arch. Pluto just blocks. Yeah. Hello, all who are probably here unusually late. What the heck? Sorry, something was just being very weird for a second. Okay, anyway. Well, I haven't done streams in a while, so I definitely feel out of place. Arch does this triple corner-ish thing, this diagonal as white all the time. So I'm not surprised to see archvenison do this. Capstone c4 feels a little... I think Pluto is inclined to agree with me that it might not be quite good enough. Might be kind of annoying to play. I'm pretty sure I've seen lines like this before. And you play some, yeah, a3 or a5, look to put this a3 piece up onto a4, and then the capstone shuffles over. The capstone from black might drop onto c4. It's a very regular-ish position. The main... I think you have to play for b2 here. Maybe c2, actually. No, I think if you allow b2, you're gonna regret it. There might even be a world where you play capstone c2 or capstone b2 here. But I don't think capstone b2 is particularly good. I should be streaming. Yeah, good. Anyone who watches me consistently knows that I am a scuffed streamer. I do not do coherent streams. So this is going to be one of the streams of all time. Never mind. Someone already has the stream link for me. Thank you, the One Rogue. That is a big help. I understand the capstone being here early, and Pluto is thinking, right? I think this makes sense to think here. It's a very thinky type of spot in the game. I mean, you could argue that with any position, but like A2 is an interesting idea. I agree. A2 making it so instead of focusing on B2, you look at, yeah, B3 left ideas. I don't even know if you play B3 left right away. I would honestly play A2 and then just play B6 anyway. And maybe, well, maybe then they get A5 and it's annoying. Yeah, B3 left might be good. Because if you can force the capstone onto A4, it's just kind of sad, probably. Well, maybe not. There's a world where the capstone makes it over to A3, and then it gets onto B3, and then it's like, fine. Yeah. It's a goofy position. Such is the way of tack. The position is intriguing. As black, like I said, I personally don't hate C2 or capstone on C2, but I don't like it either because there is some ideas of like C3 left or something. And it's actually quite annoying. I don't know what you do here. Looking for capstone C4. Yeah, that's the other idea, is force C4 left and then replace with your capstone on C4. I think that's a very big idea in the position. I just don't know if it's a main idea in the position. Because it's a little sketchy, right? I mean, there's a world where white manages to own the top. White already kind of controls the top right to some extent. And if white can also control the bottom right, is your capstone on C4 doing enough for the right horizontal for white? Or the white vertical, not horizontal? And I think the answer is probably, if I had to guess. I honestly prefer E4 over D5, but sure. I think the... Wow. That's a... I kind of don't hate this. Because, like, if you can get pieces in the... If you can force white to fight out the top right side of the board and then play for some sort of, like, A2 or something, then the capstone on C4 doesn't look as bad. I kind of like that, yeah? It makes sense. I'm not sure if I, like it enough to do it right now, but it's interesting. This position is definitely scary. What do we do here? I'm also scared of, like, what happens if white plays, like, C3 left? Yeah, exactly. I C3 left has been an idea for a while. It's just like it didn't exist before because it was bad. Because like white wasn't doing enough on the board that it really mattered. But now white is doing so much on the board that it's like it definitely matters. So goofy game. I don't hate E4 if you play like A2 or B1 like now. Like now. Like if you can get C4 left in some capacity. Or even like B6 here. I don't like B6 that much though. Yeah, okay. Does it this way instead. Sure. This was, as I kind of said, the idea behind E4 is you want somewhere for your capstone to go to. We know the capstone is getting dropped on C4-ish. Placed it on C5 instead. But the idea is still the same. I want E4 to make it so my capstone doesn't look stupid on the right side. I'm not sure. There we go. I accidentally muted my mic for a sec. Do you... Impersonating Will in the background. I'm not sure if I like it. I don't know why, but personally, I preferred c6, actually. I understand the reasoning behind this. It's making c4 left good. Yeah. But the thing is, like, what happens if black just plays, like, c5 right, like, now? Or, like, c6, even, and then c5 right actually also works. Which is kind of evil. I kind of like c6. a2 makes sense. If c5 right, you just replace. Okay, c5 right, c6. And then I'd play for a horizontal. Yes, this does invite c4 left. That's why I don't understand doing it this way. Because the capstone very much wants to be over here, and now there's a horizontal idea. And now you've just killed part of your own horizontal threat free of charge. Because the whole thing that was scary about this is like, before if you did this, you could get c5, it's connected to a4, and then you can look for like f4, f5, try and make a threat somewhere on the horizontal, make it a little more, sketchy to play. But this way it just like doesn't really do anything. And yeah, I agree with the general idea of Pluto putting pieces on the right side to make the capstone look less bad. However, he did it into a formation where white always guaranteed some ownership of the top right, and then played pieces in the top right, and then realized he couldn't play enough pieces in the top right, and then just didn't do anything. And now it just looks like he wasted a tempo. Now, I could be wrong. Pluto often plays positions where tell I tell him that he's incredibly losing, and then Topaz tells me that it's actually even. So I don't think I'm better than Topaz, and I don't think I'm better than Pluto. So Pluto could just be insane and correct. He could be. But until then, I don't know. Because, like, f3 is coming soon, I think, and it's very scary. I don't even know if f3 is, like, the right move, but probably. You could also play, like, 2b4 down, but for some reason that feels worse to me. Two b4 down is probably pretty good, though, regardless. Because, like, how are you stopping 2b4 down? I agree. It's unnecessary, especially now. Yeah, if you're doing it this way, there's no reason to commit the cap down. Maybe. I don't see a way in which it's worth it. Yeah. That's the idea, is it makes it so like breaking the connection is probably harder because this top right corner for white is quite strong, and if you play 2b4 down, the left side a3 b3 is quite strong. So you kind of have to disconnect it somewhere in the middle, but I don't know if you can because there's not enough pieces really. You might just have to wall. I guess if you play 2b4 down, you might get walled at some point and then you don't have like anything anymore. Could be the case. No idea. Yeah, so this position is like probably fine somehow because amazingly black is like still has Komi to work with. So it's probably whatever. There might be a world where you play d5 here. I kind of like d5. Also true. You can play f3 just to make the vertical on the right stronger. Yep. I mean also for the horizontal, but like the horizontal is free. Why not do this as well? This looks quite nice. I mean, just like get f4, fight out the bottom right corner. The other thing is like as white, playing f3 makes your ideas like very easy. Like, I don't know the order, but the things you want to play for as white are like really obvious. Like, really, really obvious. Like, oh, I want d5 at some point to vaguely start a horizontal, but first I can probably take like f4 and start fighting out the bottom right corner. Like, the bottom right corner will give me vertical ideas. And then, like, I have some top right connections to horizontal ideas to my capstone. Like, you know all the moves you want to play, you just have to figure out the order. As black, you're like, how do you hold? Is kind of the question that's being asked, and I don't know if there's a good answer to it. Okay. d4 also nice. d4 kind of spooky, actually. I'm still also like personally scared of d5, but I don't know if d5 is scarier than d4. Probably not. d4 just looks very strong. Threaten to either fight for d5 or for the bottom right corner. It's nice. The only problem in my mind is like giving up d5 and stuff maybe allows black to play for like some vertical on the right that connects to like get like f1, e2, capstone right, d5, d6, c4 something. There's like a world, yeah. There's a world where black can get a vertical in here. And this just feels so, yeah. And now that you've committed a wall, I can probably just play d4. Actually, you could even play like, I mean, d5 exists. You could even play e2 and whatnot now. And if the wall comes down, just like don't care and play d4 after. Like there's no reason not to fight for e2. e2 just looks so strong. Because it also connects to d2, c2 for a horizontal threat, which is nice. Yeah, this just looks so... Okay, c4, sure. I don't want to say it's like winning for white, because I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know... Because I think black has ways of transitioning into getting, like, threats on the board. Right? The problem in my mind is more just like... As white here, your moves are so obvious. I know all the moves I want to make. There's even some lingering, like, c3 left if you really want it at some point. I agree. I liked c5 and then maybe look for c6. But the problem is the capstone probably comes left and it's a little sketchy. It also makes a nice splitadel though, because you can always play c6 right. Like there's never a problem with playing c6 right, yeah? So it's probably fine. Well, not never a problem, but like for a while it'll be completely fine. I don't know. Unsure what the idea is here, but the biggest point on the board for me, like I said, is white's ideas are very simple, and white is up 6 minutes on the clock. Black has 3 minutes to play with to defend all of this garbage. So, you know. I think, yeah, you need c6, and I think very soon you need a3 up. It is getting sketchy though. It feels very even in a weird way. Well, no, I think it's white favored, but not by like a ton. Because, like, the board is starting to fill up. So, like, something has to be done eventually for white to be winning this position. And I don't know what that something is. I think b6 was probably not a bad take. I do think a3 right is probably good. a3 right, d4 left is kind of nice. But doesn't that allow c3 up? No, maybe not. No, I think it does. c3 up is probably fine in that position. But it is sketchy. For sure. Just plays a5. I don't hate that, actually. I kinda like it. Okay, high key, I kinda like this. The idea being, like, the whole reason b6 was sketchy, or that I liked b6, I didn't explain this before. The reason I liked b6 from Pluto is that c6 also kind of threatens b6, and then there's this really strong looking horizontal across the top of the board, right? Not super strong, but like strong enough that it's annoying. So b6 prevents it while giving you vertical ideas. a5 allows the capstone to come up and probably create horizontal threats. Well, the one rogue, the idea behind a5 is most definitely for 2b4 up. Schmorley. Okay, yeah, doesn't happen. Unsurprised. But this is kind of the problem now, yeah? Is like, okay, we've hyper committed to the horizontal at the top by committing a5. c2 now, a3 up to set up chain tag. What? Okay, I don't see what you're talking about, because I'm just looking at f5 left and 4d3 left. The ideas for white in this position are most definitely 4d3 left and f5 left, without a question in my mind. Or maybe not even f5 left, perhaps d6 right instead. But I don't like that as much, because then you can probably get some horizontal idea that connects to like f4 with e3 up in some weird magic line that ends up being mildly relevant. But like 43 left is a non-negligible threat. In my mind, at least. And this vertical for black is kind of annoying to stop. Goes for a6. Not sure what the idea behind a6 is. I can see c2 from the perspective of have vague vertical ideas, but also like have horizontal ideas towards the bottom. And, or like it's a good piece that like black also wants to have, right? But I just, yeah. The problem is, I feel like c2 is also too slow. Like, what does c2 do? I don't see what c2 does, other than like take away c2 from black and force a little bit of annoyance. Because this is coming, and then like, okay, yeah, great. We knew this was coming. Fantastic. I honestly liked e2 more than c2. I think e2 was a good way to try and force like, because the whole way that black defends the vertical on the right side is the idea was wall down, like f5 down. But now the f5 and d6 walls kind of want to like meet each other over here vaguely somewhere. And I don't know. Yeah, the idea is now the walls kind of control the space. Great. Expected. I think E2 was a good way of making it so like imagine if instead of A6 we had E2 here. I would feel quite content. Not amazing, but I'd feel okay about the position for sure. I'm looking at B4 as well, actually. I think B4 just to like kill the capstone for all eternity is quite nice. Either the capstone goes up to B6, which just looks tragic, or it's dead forever. Or like you're playing B6 right, which also looks awful. Like suddenly there's just no good moves. Yeah. But if we play A6 right, it's like, it has to be full chop, surely. A6 right, F5 left. Look for wall A6. Win the game. Okay, plays for F2 first. Okay. Don't hate it. I actually like F2. There were definitely lines where black could... There were lines where black could play F2 and look for F2 up to create like a horizontal idea that made like something you could attack again in the future. That seems annoying. White preventing it early. I don't hate it. Oh, I'm like not next to my mic whatsoever. I'm so sorry. B6 right tack. I don't know if there's like a reason to play B6 right. Like it's definitely not bad. It's just like, is there a reason to? Like what about instead of any of that capstone up? I kind of don't hate playing capstone up here. Though there's a world where there's some like goofy oh, Pluto has 8 seconds by the way. I just kind of fully processed this, but that's kind of like not. Is he about to lose on time? Oh, thank heavens. What was I doing? I was fixing something on my end. What the heck did I miss? Okay, so capstone up, b4, f2, capstone up, wall left, e6, f1, e1, f2 up, something happening. Okay, great. We knew this was coming. Uh, what are we playing? Like F4 left? F3 down? This feels sad. This is an unfortunate position, I think, to try and play. Okay, just recaptures. I think you can capture F3 here. Yeah. Or not capture, just take F3. Straight up. I think it just like wins. I don't know if Pluto will play it though with this low of time on his clock. It's kind of weird to find. You have to be a little bit confident that it's good enough. Because it's obviously it's gonna get recaptured. Attack threats are coming soon. Walls. Can't say I like the wall, but I can't say I hate the wall either. Okay, great. Wonderful. Do we throw the F2 stack up to F4? Like, is there a world where you play 3F2 up? 1-2? I don't know if it's any good, actually. It feels sketchy for some reason. To be fair, though, Black does have to cash out this F2 stack. They have officially committed 3 walls. And, are down on reserves. So they have to get something out of it. I think they will. Don't get me wrong. I don't think there's a way White wins the game on FCD right now. I don't think that's gonna happen. But there's a world where they can try and draw on FCD or something. Again, this is why I didn't want to take Pluto out. Because these ideas existed for the entire game. And I think it was hard to stop all of them. Okay, it does it this way. Can't say I fully understand it, but sure. Because E2 right is tack. So I don't know what we're doing after E2 right. Losing? Walling F3? Oh, this way. Sure. I have a hunch, knowing Arch, that he wants to unpin the smash on d6, but it doesn't do anything, so unfortunately it's just not worth it. Oh god. Oh lord. Yep, great, okay. Now we could, if we so wanted, smash d6. It doesn't work, but it's cute. That's unfortunate. I don't see another. I also don't see what you actually do at all to get back in this game. Yeah, okay. Smash is d6. Unsure why, but I respect it. Nope, you are very right, Senor Guest. This does not work. Not in the slightest. It doesn't even actually gain you FCD, I don't think. Like, okay, white has 2 flats showing at the start of the sequence. Smashes again. Is there a way to just like win by force here? Not a bad one. This is sketchy though. Like we're getting towards the area where white can play 3 e6 left and maybe not be lost. Luckily the f2, no matter what happens, it's not Tinue. Because the wall on f2 can come up. Which is a really stupid quirk, but it can. Unsure why we're doing this. I'm not sure why we're allowing wall a3. But we are. I suppose allowing smash on b4 was bad? White made a -2 move, so they need a +4 move to make up for it. Yeah, the thing is, like... That's okay. It's a little more weird than that sometimes, but... Yeah, okay. Takes your suggestion. I can't say I completely like it, because you can probably spread back over and be like, fine. Okay, and then the question is like, what can we do with this? Does this do anything? And I think the answer is unequivocally no, but we can pretend, right? I mean, this stack will cash. Actually, no, it won't. Because you can actually play 5c4 right. That's so annoying. Or 6c4 right. So you can even block the spread down if you're feeling feisty enough. Okay, this is tack. Cool. It doesn't work, but it's fun. And then we can probably spread down and like smash on e2 or something. I don't know what the plan is. Nope, yeah, we're doing it this way. That's yeah, of course, Pluto would spot this. And now it's just unplayable. The game is completely unplayable. You have to play a3 too, which is the worst part, because if you don't play a3, white or black is playing wall a3, and you still lose, but like worse. So it's just over. Not really anything more to be seen here. I don't even think there's moves white can make that like make the position complicated. I guess there's like f5, which opens up smash on e6, but I don't even think that's ever gonna work. Black always has b4 left. True. Yeah, it's just so... It's so unplayable. It does it this way. Sure. Yeah, and now we can spread, I suppose. Maybe, perhaps. You can try and play e6 here, if you so desire. And then black will play d2, and then you will be pinned forever, and then you will never get to play the game. Yup. Fun. Black is down reserve. That is the one advantage, though, is white has 5 reserves left. Black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think. So white does get to end the game first. I'm not sure if they want to, but they can. You can also play, like, e5 now. At least it's tack. That's nice. Woo. Yeah, it makes sense. Smash still completely pinned. This white capstone stack is a 7 stack, right? Yeah, so it can't even spread all the way to c3. What is the FCD? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? 12 plus 2. 12 plus 2 to 10. And white somehow has to make this up. I don't think they are going to. I'm a little... Okay. D1 to force C1. Sure. SF5 isn't bad, but it feels unnecessary. The thing is, you want to play C1 here because you don't really want to give white more, like, ability to smash stuff here because white only has 3 reserves left. So if they can actually start making, like, weird, goofy plus FCD-ish moves, then eventually they will win the game. So you have to be a little particular here. Not so particular, but a little. I'm scared of stuff like 6c6 down. I'm wondering what happens if you get 6c6 down. I don't know if anything happens. Okay, he's doing it this way. This way also makes sense. I can't say I like it, but it makes sense. Also the goofy 4d6 right 2-2. Yes, there is. Okay, just walls f5 now. I am scared, though. Like, okay, we're gonna smash. Yup, makes sense. If we don't smash, we lose the game. So we are going to smash. And now do we spread over to b6? No, we play f5. I'm not so sure about that one. Okay. How many are in this white? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can play d5 here. d5 isn't that bad. d5 is actually kind of scary. d5, right? I like just d5 here. Puts you on 1 reserve, which is nice. So you can start making chaos happen with, like, no thoughts whatsoever. It makes it so if you spread across to b6, you're unpinned. So you can probably make, like, a triple stack or a quadruple stack on c6. How many are in c6 right now? That many. So you would have to spread it in a weird way. But, like, I think d5 is nice. I think it allows you to make some interesting stuff happen. I don't know if it's enough to win the game, but does it? I'm not so sure about that one. I'm not so sure about that one. The idea is very clearly... Oh, actually, I don't hate that. Hold on. Because let me zoom in real fast. That stack has how many pieces in it? So from the top, there's 1 capstone, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5, and this is 5. Which means you can play 5 c6 down here. Okay, d1. You can play 5 c6 down here, and it might just win the game instantaneously. Unironically. Does it? That might actually win the game. Not even a joke. Black is up 5. This is going to be sketchy, but yeah, I think the right play is probably 5 c6 down. 5 c6 5 c6 down, sd5. Then you can spread down to c3 probably. And then basically the c6 stack allows you to either cash out left or you can cash out the white stack down. So no matter what, you get back up like 3 or 4 reserves. Well, then if black is only up 2, then it wins the game on the spot, right? Because then you can just spread down to c3. Because you have a triple stack on c5. So then you have a plus spread. So if that's the only option to defend this, you win the game. Like, it straight up wins you the game. Oh, wait. No, you have 2 reserves. I forgot. I did forget you have 2 reserves. What do you mean it doesn't work? I'm not so sure. Well, it's the only idea I see on the board, so you kind of have to do it at some point anyway, right? Like, what else are you going to do here? You have 10 seconds. d5 now. Sure, I like it. Look for 5 c6 down later. I agree with this completely. Because now if you do it, if you start spreading, and then place happens, you win. If you spread down for a +1, and then spread down again, yup, we're gonna start cashing this stuff out. Yup, I agree. It's getting scary, though. Because white doesn't really have many pieces to work with. So, like, what do you have to do? Like, b5 up here? That's such a goofy move. I don't think b5 up even works. I think it allows wall b5. Does this now? Wait, this could spread like that? How did I not notice this? Okay, straight up, how did I not notice that this could spread like this? I'm so blind. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Yeah, so this is like winning. This is like... No, the thing is, this is winning then for black. Like, straight up. If white can place the draw, white wins. Because you just recapture the stack. Yada yada. No, don't place now. Capture first. Black has to do something. Oh, this is also tack. I didn't even notice. I'm so blind. Oh my god. What do you mean white had the draw? White has a win. Guest, what are you saying? White has a win on the board. Or no, this isn't tack. I'm so stupid. Oh my god, it's been a long day. But the thing is, this isn't a draw. This is a win. Yeah. Yeah. Spread a4 down. And then win the game. Happy days. Yeah. GG. Well played to Arch. Like I said, white still has hope because, like, white is down reserves, so black has to be particular about the way they play this. You can't allow white to get away with getting enough tempo on the board, or they will win the game. And they did, and then white won the game. Clean play from Arch to finish that out. Well, maybe not clean, but like well played from Arch to finish that out. I'm surprised black never played wall c4 here. I think wall c4 was an interesting idea to prevent white from getting some stuff. Like, if the thing that won the game was the spread down, you may as well wall the spread down and call it a day. Like here-ish? Yeah, I didn't even count this right. I didn't realize this could just spread down all the way. Like, I'm completely blind. I didn't realize this could spread like this. And yeah, if it can, then like taking d5 is just like a winning move. I would probably like at some point here, you probably have to just like wall here so it doesn't spread all the way down. Just to pin the capstone stack. And then even if you play like d5, I don't think it does anything. And now if you just keep placing, it's like, okay, some garbage like this is mildly scary. Does it matter though? Like, could I just capture up and be happy? Can I even just like capstone up and completely ignore this? Here. Here allows wall up, so you can't really. Well, no, this allows a draw. Might just be a draw. This way. Yeah, so it's definitely complicated, yeah? Interesting game. Interesting game for sure. I'm gonna see if they want to yap about the game, like, at all. Hold on. Where's the thing I can do where I can, like, yap with people? There we go. A curious game, to be sure. I think it was still complicated then. Yeah. The game was definitely interesting. at a certain point in the game. I mean, I suppose I just said something though with like no value whatsoever. But yeah, up until a certain point, it felt like white had a lot of control. Like, white's moves were very easy. They had less reserves. They knew what they wanted to do. They knew where they wanted to place. Like, it was very, okay, I know what the ideas I want to make are. Right? Like, white knows what they want to do here. But then as soon as they start playing here, they play for the top of the board. And then it's like black just kind of cuts off the bottom half, and white has like nothing. And then white also decides to commit this. I was wondering if white could even commit like this here. I kind of like this. But that's a personal opinion more than anything. As soon as you commit this though, it feels so odd. Yeah, I think f3 here was also very good. I think f3 is just like utterly terrifying. Like, what do we do about this? This up? I was even looking at like what happens if like, do you have to do this? That looks atrocious. Hold down. This looks so bad. This looks unplayable. And then maybe there's a world where you can like unpin smash here and it's like fine. Like maybe there's a world where you do this, and then if I overcommit to this, I can play like this down. And it's scary. Weird lines. Hi! We have the winner of that thrilling whatever just happened. Sorry if that's...
So how terrible was the game?
It was fun. It was fun to watch. It was very interesting. I won't give a degree of terrible. It was definitely very interesting. I brought up for a long time, like, everyone kind of agreed you had a very controlling position for a
Yeah,
very
I
long
think somehow I thought I was just much worse, so I kind of went crazy, and I probably shouldn't have. And I think I was just actually better,
Yeah.
and I shouldn't have gone crazy, but it worked in the end.
No. Can my PC handle streaming and streaming at the same time? It can, barely. Okay, perfect. Like, I
Oh,
think
did I
once you
see what
got...
you're doing?
Say that again?
I'm just trying to. Yeah, there I can watch what you're doing. Go on.
I think once you got like this kind of position, when Pluto committed e4 for like capstone ideas, for like something to support the capstone with, I think you got like a very good position because you got a solid hold up here. You can play for like vertical ideas
Yeah.
at some point.
I was very happy with my position there.
Agreed.
It was. Oh, so I'm just looking at where Tiltec says I went wrong.
I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah,
going to be...
Tiltec says I went wrong when I played a bunch of walls in order to enable the smash.
Yeah.
So I was right about when I went crazy.
I think even this was like a little sketchy. I think you overcommitted to the top a little bit. Like, the top is scary, but I don't think it's scary enough to justify just like not having any control down here.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of blindsided. I saw on move, what move? 24 about.
Yeah.
I saw that he would have that threat, but I didn't. Then when it actually happened, it was much more annoying than I thought it would be. And that got me worried that the way his threat was set up, it was really hard for me to cut it off. right? So it was like really hard for me. If he Like it was really hard for me to defend on the bottom left, and so I was like all in
Yep.
on kind of the right side, and I got nervous because if we just start a capture war and then he has a wall right there and I see Tinue, even though it's probably fine, I guess.
I agree. This is kind of sketchy. Like, there's ways you can get out that are completely fine. I just think it's a very sketchy side of the board. I also think there's
Yeah.
like a world where after this, I think everyone expected Pluto to just play f3 and be happy with the position. But then he played
So
this and it got weird.
F3, I expected F3 kind of, but then I would just recapture, and then I guess he brings his wall down.
Yeah, but like this wall looks like
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
that looks
The other
unplayable.
thing is, I wanted to, um, I wanted to engineer it so that the smash was a fork,
Of this
but the
and like
problem is, I couldn't, I didn't have time to work on the vertical threat and also make it so that the snap, and also cut off his threat. I probably just should have not thought about the smash, but then my path just felt bad.
that. Yeah, it's very getting to a winning spot in this position. I feel like is very abusive of the. I think Tiltak might also be glazing a little bit here because it's very you have like 5 less reserves, so you're in control of the FCD game for a while. But I think it's a bit more sketchy than it lets on. Once it gets to a point where you start making things more complicated, I think it's much better. Like these walls are I'm not gonna say these walls are any good, but like I think getting into this position is like good. Walling here, like I saw the wall idea, I just didn't think it was any good because of like e2 right, obviously. And then you played this and it's like, okay, great.
Yeah. What is Discord doing? Discord is doing weird.
Like there's even a world where you just play this now and just be happy. But I don't think he ever would because I don't
Yeah.
think Pluto likes having liabilities that open for no reason. I'm also surprised that he took D C3 instead of C2. I think C2 was much scarier because it like threatens to connect the horizontal. Like the C2
Yeah,
wall
yeah.
is a very good position.
I agree with you there. C2 was what I was worried about. Um, because like C2, if you play C2, another wall feels just bad. Right, like adjacent walls like
Ooh,
that in defense
bonk.
feel much worse than diagonal walls. I guess I just have to capture at some point. But also, yeah, Topaz came through and it's thinks the game was competitive all game. It's the normal story where it's just it's
Yeah,
similar things but less intense.
it was.
It wasn't until I had a winning end game that Topaz thinks I was winning, like
I'm
decisively.
assuming it was somewhat competitive the entire way through, and
Yeah.
then it was roughly like, okay, yeah, white favored ish, but like not a ton because there was still stuff you could do. Black favored ish, but not a
Like
ton
I
because there was
feel
still
like
white reserves.
yeah.
It's about what I
I
expected, right? Or
I
we.
feel like the end game was barely winning, but I might have had more resources if I had kept calculating.
It was. I don't want to say barely winning because it was like convincingly
I
if
guess
you
what
like.
I mean is I didn't see a way to get more than +1.
Yes, that's what I was gonna get at. Is like
Yeah,
I think it's convincing in terms of odds. I don't think it's convincing in terms
yeah,
of flat
yeah.
count. I think you can get maybe like +2 at best in this position. I don't think there's a way you're getting more than like an extra 4 or something flats here.
I came very close to just taking the draw because I have bad history in end games, and also I have
That's
not
insane.
been winning
Yeah,
the games very much lately.
Topaz is saying to close out here you play wall e5, which make sense in like a really stupid way. Or to try and close out here, you play wall e5. Because like these stacks are never gonna get enough back, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happened, right?
I was slightly surprised um captured on when he captured my double stack there. Like it felt like I didn't have room to do it. I think he might have been trying to trick me into smashing when he had a win, but
Yeah.
I don't know. He didn't say anything to that. It just felt like
Like it feels like a natural move, but it feels like it gives you more free will than you need.
yeah, because basically the thing is that I want like e6 is much better than e5 for me.
Yeah,
So
you
if he
want the
doesn't
big,
have,
strong, spooky threat.
it takes an extra move to do anything.
Like once you
Like the only reason I left two behind there is my
yeah,
cap
I
would
was
be
also
full. My
looking
cap
at
was full,
66
so
down.
they weren't useless they weren't useful to take with me.
I was looking at 66 down here. I wasn't sure if it was enough. It probably leads to some goofy position. It's sketchy for sure. I have no clue if it's actually complicated enough to be like winning, but Topaz thinks so. You played for this. This was like also a very obvious idea is you hyper commit to making it so you can smash again, which is clearly your idea at this
Yeah.
point.
Also, the game just shows that learning to play openings as white is very different than learning to play openings as black. Because I almost didn't play the diagonal opening because I know that Pluto also plays it. But then it turns out he just wasn't at all prepared to defend against it.
Yeah.
He just got a terrible position out of the opening, and I failed to screw it up. Too bad.
Yeah, this is also somewhat what
Yeah.
I expected. I wasn't sure if this was right. I expected some line where you like do some weird triple stack garbage with this. And then you did
Move I got down to 10 seconds and panicked, I think. No, it was the one
No.
before where I did the placement. I decided that I needed to get down to one flat so that I
No, I think D5
like
was probably good in my opinion. It
your
wants you to
opponent
earth.
has so
Not
much
earth.
your opponent has so much less shenanigans available when you're at one flat.
What on
in the
earth is
endgame.
this?
What? What is it?
On move 44, it wants you to smash the wall on see-through. Okay. Sure, whatever you say, boss. I don't know what it's thinking.
The
I don't
hell?
know. I want to know what it's thinking.
It doesn't do anything.
What on earth? Why are we doing
It's not
this?
even a threat.
Okay, what's the big end goal here? Suppose okay, I can't spread up because you can recapture, and pretend I clicked the buttons correctly, and it's bad.
Okay.
So you have to threaten the stack first, and then I can smash, and the smash does something, question mark, perhaps? According to Topaz? And the smash does what exactly? Enough to
I
be
feel
winning,
like,
question mark?
there's one level, like doing insane moves that are Tinue is like normal.
Like,
And then there's the level of doing insane moves that are a threat but not Tinue. And then there's the bot thing of doing insane moves that aren't even a threat.
This is actually, I don't know how you're winning in this position, because like it's definitely not f6. Because f6 like giga loses, because you have this as black and you're just giga winning. Like there's no way you're making this back as white, right? Surely. Like, okay, you have like a fake.
Maybe. The problem is that white just has so. I mean, the thing about endgames is like if you make a big mess, then the player who is up like four on or down four on reserves just has a huge advantage because they get timing and they also just have more more resources on the board to expose.
Completely agree. That's,
But
I
yeah,
think the idea
I
here
mean,
was quite
that's not
simply,
a move I play in a million years, obviously.
I think quite simply the idea, not even with the smash, but the idea in this end game position is simply you have less reserves. You can make complicated stuff happen.
Yeah,
White black has
exactly.
to be particular about how they defend it, and they weren't. And because they weren't, like, you were able to, okay, let's play mainline here. Can I please go back to
Well,
my,
and this is why you place. You get in the position where black has
I
to be
like
winning on
t5.
every.
SC4 apparently is enough to stop this for some heinous reason. I mean, yeah, we know, okay, this is happening, 5c6 down is happening, and then, yeah, it's a drawish. I think I calculated this. It's like some really obvious, ooh, look, the capstone comes up, stuff is defended, you have just enough to, like, even out, and then you place, and then it's a draw, and it's like, fantastic, wonderful, whatever. I understand you
Yeah,
needing to spread it out now because, like, you might not get to again. That makes sense. As soon as you do this, it's like, yeah, it has to be full cooked. Because you basically I understand like the thinking in Pluto's head, like, oh, I want to gain FCD here. But the thing is this just
well,
gains you an FCD. Like
it's
straight
more
up.
than that. The problem is that stone that I had to that I recaptured with was an anchor, right? So that kills all of my life tack
Yeah,
continuing
but
threats.
at this point it doesn't matter, right? Like, I agree, I
Yeah,
saw the idea. The idea is your big scary threat is doing big scary things here, right? And like
yeah,
now if you were to try and spread, it doesn't do anything because you just spread this stack up, right? And you're like black is still completely
yeah,
fine. So I get that. But the thing is like you just recapture. You can't now there's no more threat
yeah.
here. I understand. But I was even wondering like, okay, B1 happened. And I counted wrong. I didn't even realize you could spread like this. As soon as I saw this spread, I'm like, yeah, this is just a win. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do. You can recapture this. This can come over. This can come over. Even if you pretend that like black has enough like willpower to be able to make something happen here. Like suppose there's enough juice in the tank. I think you can like force. Like I think you can play this and like still force.
Mm,
So I actually don't think there's a way like
yeah,
white
yeah,
makes this back or black makes it back anymore. Cuz once you get this
yeah.
spread, it's like over. And the alternative is you don't get this spread and you like wall here. And then it's like mildly complicated, but basically the same threats as before, just like less easy probably now for some reason.
That was probably the best try for black.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. The reason I was talking about five c6 down a lot. The reason I was talking about it is because for some reason in my head I totally forgot that you can just spread all the way down here and be completely fine. Because you couldn't a while ago, right? Before you smashed the big triple stack, like you couldn't spread all
Yeah,
the way down.
exactly.
So I guess I got them mixed up. But yeah, and then you were just given the ability to have free will, and then you did the thing, and then you won the game. Like, yep, okay,
Anyway,
fantastic.
I could go like get some stuff done. Okay.
Yep. I got enough yapping out of you. Not in a mean way, I got the things I came for.
Mm-hmm.
This was sick. Okay.
Okay. Now, just
Have
Discord work.
I hope the rest of your day is wonderful.
You as well.
As well as to the rest of chat. I hope the rest of chat has a good day. This was fun. This was a fun game. I think there's gonna be a tiebreaker between Tones and Abyss later for the members that I want to watch too. I think that'll be fun. But that's gonna be all for this stream. There will probably be a stream later of Tones versus Abyss for a tiebreaker. I'm hoping. I'm hoping I get that. We'll see. We'll see when stuff happens and if the vibe is right. If it's not, oh well, it happens. I hope as I said, chat has a wonderful rest of their day. I'm probably going to have a decent rest of my day, especially if I get to watch talk later, regardless if it ends up on stream. Goodbye, and see you in another stream.